Hi guys, I have another little weekend project for you. Doesn't have to be a Christmas one, I just chose to do a Christmas theme because I got some digital downloads with Christmas on them as part of the September Club from TL Creates. So this is one sheet of 12 by 12, double-sided, patterns on both sides, made into a little booklet with lots and lots of pockets. I'm about to show you through it and then I'll show you how to make it. Okay, don't forget, if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. It means more people get to see it. If you'd like to see videos, about 5 to 7 videos a week on all aspects of junk journaling, ephemera making, actual journaling, planning, all sorts of stuff, do consider subscribing and hitting the notifications bell, and let me know what you think in the comments. I'm always interested in feedback. I kept the decoration simple. The second half of the video is decorating, but I've done the main make at the beginning of the video for those of you who don't want to watch the decorating process. Options, choices, woo! Right, here we go. Like I say, it's one piece of 12 by 12. And at the front you've got this tuck area, and in that tuck area there are various little tags and little bits of ephemera. Like I say, they're all covered in the second part of the video, and there's lots and lots of space for them, and they're all on a Christmas type theme. In this pocket you have more tags. You've actually got a little booklet which is made in the second part of this video, and another little something. Yep, another little sort of taggy thing made from a masterboard of the printed digitals, and the masterboard is included short. A short of the masterboard is included in this video as well. Here I just decorated this because yes, you could have had another little pocket or tuck spot, but you don't want it getting too chunky. However, that is an option for you. And this is another place to put a tag. And on this side again, just very, very simply decorated. Here you have a tuck spot with lots of different papers, basically, just little bits of paper that you can journal on. And then this is another pocket with a journaling card, I think this time. Yeah, that's been put together from the masterboard with a few additional bits and pieces and coffee stained paper at the back. See if I can get it back in now. Okay, these flip as well, quite fun. When you flip them over, this one also has another pocket on top of that, so you've got a tuck spot here, a pocket here, and something in between. And in this pocket we've got more little tags, journaling areas. You could put anything in that pocket, obviously. And then the back cover, so it is only a mini journal. I've just got to try and get these back in. I'll play with those in a minute. You've got a large journaling card. You could actually get 2 or 3 down there. I chose to only do 1. Coffee stained paper at the back. And you have a pocket here with another journaling card or a tag, but again you could get another 1 or 2 in there, and then I left the back plain. So keep watching if you want to see this being made, the masterboard being made, and also the decoration that goes into it being made. Hi guys, so today we're going to be making a mini journal. I'm going to do a Christmas themed one. You can do any theme you want or no theme at all, it's up to you. From one piece of 12 by 12 cardstock really, or double-sided. And if you are using American measurements, you're going to just halve it straightforward enough there. And you're going to go at 4 inches and 8 inches and score down both. However, if you're using European measurements, the easiest way to do it is to do a score line at 30 centimetres, and then we're going to go at 10 centimetres and 20 centimetres for scoring. So I'm just going to cut off this excess here, and then do the scoring with you. Once you've cut off your excess, you have to decide whether you want the plain side on the inside or the outside. I think I might go plain outside actually. You may have a heavily patterned piece, in which case it's just which pattern do you prefer. Right, so at the 10, I'm going to score down. I've just purchased this. I think this is going to make my life a lot easier. Though it doesn't have, or it might have some quarters, but it doesn't really have many. Right, so at the 10 and then at the 20. The same on the next one. 10. And then the 20, so basically 10 centimetres apart. So you're making this into thirds. Nice and simple so far. Next thing to do is to do a little bit of gluing, but not much yet. So we're going to take, remembering this is going to be the outside, these two parts here, and we are going to put them together to make a pocket. The only bit we initially want to glue is actually, I think, this very bottom piece. We'll be gluing the rest later. I happen to have Fabri-Tac glue, but you can use any glue you want. All we're going to do is go along one edge, as close to the edge as we can, all the way up, and then put these together. But we want to get them together so that they completely line up. You've got time, if you use a liquid glue, to do a bit of a wiggle to try and get them as neatly aligned as possible, and then you want to let them dry once you're happy with the placement. So this is virtually lined up. The only bit is it's slightly off on that edge there, but it's very, very slight. The better you can measure, as everyone knows I'm not great at measuring and cutting, the easier it's going to be for you to line these up. Once you're fairly confident it's dry, I would just suggest that you fold it into a book shape, because you want to make sure that everything is going to fit together nicely. And you can even get your bone folder or whatever you use for a bone folder and improve those creases. Once you've done that, the next thing to do, if you want to, you don't have to do this bit, is to add a notch to this very, very back one. So if you look, it's the one on the right, and you just adding a little notch on this one. It's 10 centimetres across, so the middle point is 5 centimetres. Because I'm not very good at eyeballing things, I am going to see if I can see my ruler, get this, and go for 5 centimetres across. Obviously, if you're using inches, it's going to be 2 inches, half of 4. So 5 centimetres is there. So that is, ooh, my little white pen is deciding not to work. Let me just line that up again. That is about halfway. And then you can either draw a semicircle, a very shallow one, or use a circle punch. I think I can see that little white notch, and I'm going to try and get it about lined up with the notch here. And then, like I say, you don't want much off, it's just a little tag, trying to keep it roughly even. I don't know if that actually is, and then oh, I moved it slightly, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so we have a little notch there. And then what we're going to do is make the first pocket by gluing along this bottom edge and this edge here. You could use tape for this bit if you wanted to, up to you. And then we're going this edge here. The very outer edge is coming in to form this pocket. And then we bring it over and again seal it down to make that back pocket. Fold this a bit sharper if you want. Get rid of that bit. And that's the first pocket done. Now we're going to go to the front flap. So we brought the back one in to make the pocket. Now we're doing the front one, which we would bring in to make a pocket, but we're actually going to bring it back to make an open tuck spot. I'm going to take this now, knowing this is the one that I need, and score it. You don't have to do this, you could just fold. And I'm going to score it not fully halfway, but so fully halfway would be 5. I'm probably going to score it about 3.5, that's centimetres. I don't know what that would be in inches, probably 1 3/4, something like that, maybe. Under the 2, put it that way. Maybe 1.5. Oh, you could do it that way. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, we do it this way. What we're going to do now is maybe put another notch in here and then glue these two sides down to make the tuck spot. With the circle punch, just create a little notch. So get that lined up with the circle punch center, and hopefully this time not move it and create a notch. But I'm going to glue just that bit and that bit. This is almost out, so I might have to get my tape out. Oh yeah, there's a little bit. And that side, as close to the edge as you can. Fold it over. And then we have a tuck spot. Next thing you need to do is create a pocket here as well. That will mean gluing that edge and bringing that in to create the next pocket. Hopefully you're following this, or you can go back and slow it down if you want. Over again. And again, let it dry for a little bit. So now we have a tuck spot here and a tuck spot here. This is the front cover. This bit's still open at the moment, and then the back has a big pocket as well. For your central one, this one, the very first one that we glued, it's entirely up to you whether you go exactly halfway or 3/4. It's up to you what sort of design you want. I think I'm going to score it at, because mine would measure 15, so, or just over 15, so halfway would be 7 and a bit, which is a little bit awkward. I'm going to go for a smaller one and a bigger one. I'm going to score down the 5 centimetre line. The reason you're going to score it is because it's going to help you cut along that line. And then from this line here, I'm going to cut this way. Oops, it moves slightly. Yes. Okay. Now, as you can see, on this one only, I think it's this one only, you've got a little bit sticking over. I don't know about this one, a tiny bit. So you can now take the opportunity, if you want, to try and trim this down a little bit so they match. Just taking this, lining that up with the notch on your cutter, and do a shallow little, hoping that's lined up. Yeah, a little shallow thingy. And the same on this one. Now, I'm not necessarily going to get these the same depth, which is why you might prefer to do the notch on that side. In fact, should I? Just to be absolutely, because then you wouldn't see if they're not the same depth. An idea, Batman. That is an idea. Got that very narrow. So it's going to have a little notch. Right, okay. It's not halfway anyway. Right, so when you come to glue this side down, you're going to, those don't quite line up anymore, do they? That one doesn't either particularly. Okay, I'm going to have to do some trimming up afterwards by the look of it. Going to glue along the two sides because you would tuck in from this side, the short side. So you're going to glue along the two long sides. Get as close to that edge as possible because these will be really, really little skinny tags that go in this one. If you go halfway, obviously you're going to be giving yourself a bit more space on tags. Put that down, and like I say, I'm going to have some trimming up to do in a minute. The same on this one. Again, glue along your two longer sides here and here, and put it down. That is your little booklet done, and all you have to do is decorate it. We'll do the decorating on camera as well. If you want to hang around for that, I am just going to trim this up when it's dry and then do a bit of decorating. Now this is made up and trimmed up, we're going to go back in time to watch me create a masterboard with some digitals from TL Creates, and from that masterboard make some tags. So I'm going to edit that video in and then come back to you. In yesterday's video, I started to use some printables, digital downloads from TLC Creates. I like to get full value out of anything I buy, and although it was only $5 for a ridiculous amount of value, so I would recommend you look into it. They do have their own Facebook group. I have put the link in the description. This is where a lot of this comes from. It's stuff that basically I didn't use yesterday. Now, it's not all digital downloads. Some of this is old scrapbooking papers, and when I say old, I mean 10 years old. What I'm going to do is, I think, probably my favourite activity at the moment, which is a little sad, which is create a masterboard. I love the randomness of a masterboard. Put things down and then you turn it over to cut it up, and you're never quite sure what you're going to get, and it gives you a background. I have already, this is just a free leaflet that comes, as they often do, through the door, that I've just white gessoed over to knock back some of this colour. That probably wasn't necessary. I don't always do that, but I have done in this case. I think there's a bit of glue in that. Right, let's just do it this way. Not the most efficient way to do it. Really don't need that much glue, but there we go. Let's just get this down. So I'm covering this. Well, it's not as big as I normally cover, but it's bigger than A4. And I am just going to take these pieces. All I've done to these is ink up all the edges in the same Espresso Distress ink, Tim Holtz one. That's the only thing that's been done to this. And the reason I've done every edge the same is to give it that cohesiveness, coordination that you're looking for when you make a masterboard. You want something that brings it all together. So I thought the inking was a good place to start. I'm going to continue this. It's not very interesting for you to watch me glue bits and pieces together off camera. This one I will put over things, so you'll see me just with these little tags, just put them over bits. So I will come back when this has been filled, and we will continue with the next stage of this masterboard. Now what I'm going to do is take some of the leftover pieces from yesterday's project and keep adding to this masterboard even though it is covered. We've got some torn scraps. Again, they have been inked along the edges, so again they still kind of fit in the whole idea of this. And these scraps are golden. This is very wet, so it might start to affect the paper. I'm just putting them down as and where I feel like it. There's no particular, it's just spreading these out across the board. No particular reason behind where they're going. Now we've got these snowflakes. They're quite heavy cardstock, so they might need a bit more glue. I'm going to continue until I've basically got rid of nearly all of this scrap. Yet again, we're going to try putting some paint on here, dry brushing it on to distress it. So I have here some white gesso, which is actually getting really low, so I need to order some more. I'm going to try a dry brushing technique. Last time tried, I'm not worrying if things are going to lift. We tried rollering it, but that didn't really work. We're just going to put this all over this. and it's to knock back some of these colours. Definitely easier to do this with a brush. Anywhere where I feel the colour's definitely too stark, I'm going to knock back a bit more, like these edges of these snowflakes. I think I'm happy with how much that's knocked that back. This will probably ruin this ink pad, but it was only a £1 ink pad. So I'm just picking up some of the ink onto the dry brush and lightly brushing over some of the white, not all of it, just some. I think that's enough. Using the same brush, so I will go and clean it immediately. I'm going to Mod Podge over this. And I might spread the brown ink around a bit, but that's okay. This will now provide that protection that I like to put on these masterboards, but it will bring it up a bit shinier. I'm doing this stage for those who don't like the stickiness of Mod Podge. I don't find it particularly sticky, but I'm going to show you what you can do to take off any stickiness, and that is to use a acrylic medium varnish. I've got a gloss, but you can get the matte if you prefer, and all you do is just brush it over the entire surface and let it dry. I do have a little bit of the masterboard left over, but as you can see here, lots of tags have already been cut out. So the next thing I'm going to do is make these into tags and potentially add extra decoration or just leave them as they are. I absolutely love this bottle, mason bottle image. So I'm going to add that to this big masterboard tag, because that is the one that's going to go into that back pocket. The only thing I need to do with this is go about halfway across, make a small punched hole so that I can put a piece of ribbon or something like that in it. So that's going to be halfway's about 4. I have one of those big crocodile things, one of these beasts. I've got it on the small setting, and I'm going to pop it here over that mark that I've just made, and then all I need to do is get a piece of ribbon, pop that through, and it can go into this back pocket. The other thing is this is not decorated, and so I think I might back this onto card and maybe put another pocket here. This one has now been backed with just a spare bit of old card. I'm going to round the corners, ink the edges, and pop that down as a pocket. Now, if you want to, you can decorate more than this, but I'm going to keep this simple. The only reason for inking, as far as I'm concerned, when it's not grunging it, is if you've got a bit of white showing where you've trimmed things together, it's going to hide it. But that's going to make quite a nice little pocket. You don't have to round the corners off, you don't have to ink the edges. It's all personal taste at this point. I'm going to stick this down. This time I'm probably going to use the double-sided tape, and I'm going to stick it down 3/4 of the way. You could also just do it as a tuck spot. Let's just make sure that that is the right way up. So just along the edge, just need to peel the backing off this stuff, which always clings to you as soon as you try to peel the backing off. Oh, this red plastic stuff is lethal, so clingy. Now we're going to add an extra pocket. So this little booklet, like I say, it doesn't have to be Christmas themed, it can be anything you want, is absolutely going to be filled with pockets and tuck spots. This has already been backed with some coffee stained paper. Yes, it has wrinkled a bit. I'm not going to worry about that. That's going to go in the back here, hopefully. I hope it fits. Yeah, and then the little tag there, lovely. And then we have space here for another tag. Now I have got some made up, of course, like this one. Will that fit in there? So we could put the little Santa there. Yes, it's just a thing. I mean, maybe want to, because I gessoed this white, maybe we should put something a little brighter image somewhere on here. Let's see, we've got a Santa image there that I could add to this. We could do the featuring here and the one night only and stick that on there. Again, you can punch a hole in the centre and add a little piece of ribbon or lace or whatever you want. When I left you and we're letting things dry, I have no idea where we got up to, so I'm going to quickly recap. There's this journaling card in the back pocket. You could get another one in here quite easily if you wanted to. And for example, if you were doing 12 days of Christmas, you might want to make 12 pockets or 12 tuck spots or 12 bits of ephemera just to keep with the theme. We've made this little pocket, backed it with card, and then in here we've got one journaling card which is made from the masterboard, a topper, and again backed with coffee stained paper. I started to make a little, from this digital download, a little booklet. So I've backed it with a bit of card on the back cover. I've put some coffee stained paper. I've got some that I've just ripped up that was scraps, and I've yet to decide, I'm going to sew that in, but I've yet to decide whether I'm just going to put it on a page and it flips down and you can write, or whether I'm going to pop it in a pocket. So I've yet to decide what I'm doing with that. I made this tag. This was an existing tag that I had from some old scrapbooking papers, and then I've just added some fussy cuts to it that are from the digital download, and again backed with coffee stained paper, and this fits in here. And then the other thing I've done is back this piece with some cardboard and it will fit here. So I thought this could be a tuck spot on a tuck spot. Let's pop that there, give myself a decent gap so you've got a way to get in and out of that tuck, and then here as well. Now we've got lots of little tags made up. It's what's going to actually fit in anywhere. They might need to be made a little bit shorter. We've got a journaling card which might be better, and we could just put a tab top on that one. Yeah, a journaling card might be nice. Don't think, even though it does it stick out too much? Yes, possibly you'd want to take a bit off that. I mean, it's not impossible, just take a little bit off and re-round the corners. So I might do that because we've got more space for tags. And I've got this, which cuts your tops out, and obviously I've got Christmas paper. Let's use this. We could just basically fold that over and glue it to this. So it's not the strongest. You could line it with cardboard. I'm slightly concerned that by lining everything with cardboard, it's all getting a bit too thick. And then that one would go around the back side, but the other one would glue to the other one. Right. And this glue always leaves like little cobwebby strings of glue. Very strange. I think I want to put a cutout or something on here. Just try and keep it fairly thin for once. Normally I do quite big edging, but maybe something a bit more delicate would look better with this. You could put, you know, a Christmassy or whatever your theme is word on here. Pop that on there. And obviously you can keep going. You can add words, you can add little postage stamps, you can do what you want to these. Add a bit of lace, that might look nice. You need something for the tuck. So what do we have that might fit? I might need to cut some things down. Oh, we have this, which is a little piece of like writing paper. So we could actually fill this one with just bits of paper that people could write on. So like this. quite sweet. This I was going to put in here. We do have these tiny little pieces for this bit, like teeny tiny things that we could go in here. See how many more I've got. So you just like lots of little ones. Let's have a look. I'm just piling through things here. They've all been backed, you see. I have got other bits of paper, but they haven't been backed. So I'm just looking to see if I've got any more that have been backed. I've got a big one, or bigger one. Now I could easily back something like this image. Actually, I could pop him, cut him down a bit and pop him on there, which would be quite nice, I think. I've got some thread here from a previous project. He could go in there. I'm wondering if there's a little something that can be put on here. Got Merry Christmas. Just looking at that, thinking that could do with a letter or something on it. There. I mean, it doesn't mean S for Santa, does it? So I don't know. Someone think of something beginning with T that's something to do. Tree. T for tree. There you go, Christmas tree. I'm just having a look to see what we might do here. That's just kind of decorated that up a little bit. Probably put that there. But then what would you just put that there? I don't know. That's almost like a little nameplate, isn't it? It's not going to be very wide at all. Just going to remake it basically. It's like a little bookmark, isn't it? It's not perfectly straight actually. I might try and make it ticket-like. So we have a little thing there. Does that need anything else on it? I don't think so. Then on this side, we have room for another pocket, definitely. Oh, we've got this yet. My little booklet. Put the little booklet just hidden in one of these. Kind of fun to sew it, and it could even get a bit more paper in there, I think. Come on. I made it quite thick. There we go. And then we just want a bit of thread and a needle. Mini, mini, mini. Almost like a charm size book. Let's get that in there then. Lots of little surprises in there now. You know, I said this could be like a little nameplate, even though there's nothing stamped on it. For the speed of it, we're going to do that. We're going to put that on as though it's a nameplate, even though it isn't. I'm going to get a couple of little shinies and put them there. Okay. So what I've done while off camera is I've backed an image with cardstock, and I'm just going to stick it down with some double-sided tape, and then it's just a question of what can we get in there. It's going to be a tight squeeze on almost anything, to be honest. It might just be a question of bits of paper or something. Right, all that's left to do is this front cover. We can keep it simple. I forgot to say goodbye. Thank you for joining me in this video, and I will see you next time.